Alright, timestamp. It is December 20th, 2025, right at 2 a.m. I'm going to walk some dogs. I just got up like 10 minutes ago. Checking. Oh, dear God. Checking in on eBay. Heck, you're not coming with us. Yeah, you're thinking about it. I see it. Come on. It's 50s. Nice. Just checking out some space over there. Woke up congested because I always do. Yeah, you got some possibilities there. Tiny was asking me about projects. They were working in the master bedroom condensing. They did a great job in there. Got some carpet that's been treated. Again, just in case. Because we may actually be like winning the war on the bed bugs. It'd be cool to have the guy, come out and inspect and say that there was no trace. That'd be swell. It would surprise me. Maybe a little bit. We've been pretty thorough. I mean, when he came out in February and inspected, they were everywhere. You know, my dad kept insisting that he had been spraying, but it was clear that there was nothing close to a battle being won, much less a war. But with his memory, and frankly his lack of decision making, I don't know that he was making good decisions as far as where he was spraying, what he was spraying. You know, Acorn, I don't know what you're doing, pal. Yeah, you. Was that all you needed to do was pee? I'm going to be here a minute. If you need to go out more. Alright, I'm going to go in. Because I think you're just standing there looking at me. Guessing that based on the fact that I don't hear your tag jingling. You really done? You just had to squirt and go? But, you know, he was being very indignant with the guy. I felt bad. I kept trying to redirect. It's like we were playing good cop, bad cop. Excuse me. Yeah. Except in this case, grab and go. That jinx. He trample you? No, he is. He gets a cookie, and that's all that matters. This bag is almost empty. But I got 3 more at Dollar Tree the other day, so we're good. There you go, sir. Good? Alright, quit moving the water bowl around. So, but yeah, my dad was, Kaiser, what have you done to the robot? Oi, Scrappy, get out of there. That's disgusting. Gross, dude. Yeah. You don't want to know. The litter robot is amazing. However, its success is dependent on the cat, a cat, any cat using it correctly. So Kaiser will sometimes stand in the doorway of the litter robot, facing the interior wall, if you can picture that, with his back legs on the ledge of the entrance. And commence firing. Which, if you're saying to yourself, wouldn't that mean that what he's creating lands just outside the litter robot and not within? The answer would be yes. That is what that means. We're doing some Harry and David vanilla cream, and as I mentioned, brulee. But yes, Kaiser and his litter robot usage is wanting. And Scrappy was investigating it. So when I say, you're gross, dude, there's good reasoning for that. And I apologize to anyone eating right now. At least I didn't, shine the camera over there. I have some decency. Not a huge amount. Don't get carried away, but, I got some. Just checking eBay. Yeah, I went to bed probably like 6 p.m. The day before, though, I'd gotten 2 little 2-hour bursts of sleep and I woke up yesterday at 3 a.m. for no reason whatsoever. Went back down at 8 a.m. and Pix woke me up a little bit before 11, so I probably got about 5 hours of sleep, but it was a 2-hour burst and a 3-hour burst. Full disclosure, I was dragging ass. Getting little bits of stuff done here and there, but nothing that I would call impressive. Let me reset that. Did win a small micro book lot yesterday, or actually this last night while I was sleeping. Come on, Tannhauser. Let him in. Move. Yeah, I can't close the door with your back legs on the stoop. Scrappy's being a jerk. Tanner, come on. Here you go, sir. I realize doggy memory issues and all that, but you had a cookie twice that size 5 minutes ago. Boy. Oh, you're going over there so you can scratch. Jinx, please stop, dude. Bowl's still half full. Or half empty, but for me it's half full. And I will fill it in a few minutes. Kids. Now I did buy It's the Zuru Mini Brands home items, I think. It has like stools, tables, some household appliances, clocks, wall clocks, um, Tupperware type things, bento boxes. I did buy, because Pix and I were looking at it as far as like being able to use it with our dioramas and stuff like that. And they got some good stuff in that mix. I will show you when they get here. Because there are a bunch of like $20 lots, $30 lots online with like 10 pieces, 20 pieces. I found a guy. Again, I just got up, so gotta wipe away the guy liner, you know. Okay. I only do makeup if I'm on stage. But I found a guy that had a listing for 260 pieces for, I think it was like $70. What are you doing? Trouble? Yeah, okay. I saw it. I think it had just gotten listed because there wasn't even a watcher on it yet. A lot of UPick auctions too, which if you've got to find that one piece, I get it, but otherwise I find them really annoying. A UPick it'll be and sometimes they can be deceiving. They like lure you in. They'll have a picture, like 20 different things in the picture, and it'll say, you know, $2, and you're like, oh, hey. You click on it, and it's starting at $2, and there's a little scroll-down window where you can pick which one you're looking at. You know, and they can be anywhere from $2 to $100. You know, that one rare piece that you're looking at that you thought you were getting it for $2, when you select it, it's like $100, and you're like, yeah, okay, yeah. So you're just like any other listing that has it for $100. I find them annoying. But, yeah, no, the guy had, I think it was like 261 pieces for $75, something like that. But I saw that as we were going through, and I'm seeing these $20 lots with 15 pieces and stuff like that. Looking at $1 to $2 per item, and doing the math on that, I'm like, this is like 30 cents, 40 cents per. It's got a lot of the stuff that we were looking at, because we're not looking for the ultra rare solid gold ones. We don't care. We want ones that are actually practical, usable, look good, you know, for like diorama and set stuff. So I saw that, and I immediately double checked the text to make sure it wasn't like some kind of bait and switch, something tricky. You know, I'd pick a random 20 for you and send it, you know, because there are ones like that too. All 261 pieces, what have you, were included in the lot. I'm like, I'm gonna grab it. And it was fun, because as I was reading it, whatnot, people started watching it, and it went up to like 8 watchers, myself being one of those 8, so 7 other people saw it within that 5-minute period and went, ooh. So if you're one of those 7 people, sorry. Speaking Canadian, in case you're somewhere not here. Sorry. I'm going to say that for the Americans watching. I went ahead and purchased it, and I showed pics, but I scrolled it up so you couldn't see that it had been bought. And she's like, oh wow. I said, and I pointed at the 8 watchers or whatnot. I'm like, that's going to be a problem. She's like, yeah, because we might not get it. There's a lot of people looking at that. I'm like, it's actually not what I'm getting at. And she's like, what are you getting at? I said, because honestly, I'm one of those watchers now, babe. She's like, okay. I'm like, but that still means there's at least 7 people out there that are really mad at me right now. She's like, right, wait, what are you talking about? I'm like, I already bought it. She's like, oh, good. Okay, yeah, good. Oh, good, because, wow, that's really good. That's a good price, and there's a lot in there I can use. There's a lot in there you can use, and, oh, cool. See, You can mess with her, you just have to be careful how you mess with her. That, innocent, she loves it. It kind of, she dips down that little bit and then gets that nice big endorphin rush. But I got notification that it's already packaged and in the mail, so probably have that in a few days. And I'll show you, I'll be opening with my girl, who does not want to be on camera. But I'll show you some of the stuff that comes in it. Because we'll be splitting that like pirate booty. 261 pieces. I'll get a few of those. But like with a lot of the Zuru, yeah, large face Bugs Bunny. I think I have 3 of these now, and I'm fine with that. Because it's a giant, like, 15, 20 ounce mug. And who can say no to that face? And the brulee. But as with many of the Zuru products out there, I always feel like I'm about to yeah, exactly. I feel like I'm about to summon something when I mention the brand name. Zuru. Don't say it in front of a mirror. Don't say it with a candle. Skipping. The scale is wacky wild. Because she's mostly doing 11-inch fashion dolls. That's kind of what the Monster Higher classified as. And I'm doing stuff for primarily 6-inch figures and or 4-inch figures. Which I think she's doing 1/6 scale-wise, and I'm doing like 112 and 118, I think. 4-inch is considered 118. I know 112 is the 6. Let me... I'm not totally sure. But I can ask the French seer Google. Scale for 4-inch figure. 118. Okay. So I'm doing 112 and 118. She's doing 1/6. Thought that was right. But then I was like, is it 116? Did they really split up the fraction there? You know, they kind of go out of format with the ratio. Ask your mathematician buddies what I'm talking about there. And with the Zuru stuff, some of it works great for 6-inch, 4-inch, but because of that, becomes like uber small for an 11-inch. And the flip is also the truth. I got all the checklists here. What are you? What are you? Mini brands. Again, never say it in front of a candle or a mirror. Zuru. This got shoved in with one of the other lots, because I've gotten quite a few. But like you can see, some of the stuff in there, it's like bottles of Tabasco sauce and orange juice and all kinds of foodstuffs. Some soda bottles. And some of them actually look like they would fit perfectly with an 11-inch, figure's hand. But then if you put it with a 4-inch figure, it's like food of the gods kind of stuff. But the flip is also true. There's some that fit perfectly with the 4-inch figures or the 6-inch figures. And when you put it next to an 11-inch hand or whatnot, it is this little teeny thing, You know what I mean? It's like a bottle of soda pop that's this big for me. Scale-wise, that looks ridiculous. It's not. This was not made for you. But yeah, there's like tubs of butter and little bags of candy and shaving cream. The shaving cream, the scale on those is like goofy. Nobody can use that. And a lot of that stuff, or if we've already got, like there's some where she's already got like 6 of it. She's like, I don't really need any more. That'll be enough to work with. That's what I'm reselling and flipping. I'm going to be prepping a lot of that. We are now officially on Saturday, which means eBay. And actually, I've got a couple. I'll show you. But I've been thinning my desk a little bit, getting some of the guys into the second hutch that I just put on. D84, get over here, buddy. My 6-inch model, D84. I can show you the silliness that is. So this is one of the, this is a mixed food lot that I'm going to be taking photographs of. So this is a Kikkoman soy sauce. Okay? Which, if you like Asian cooking, you may have had this in your fridge at some point or in your pantry. Now it works for an 11-inch, but barely, because you're even pushing your luck scale-wise on that. That is about 2 inches tall. And this is where we are. She's like, well, I can make the argument that it's like, you know, the Costco bottle. It's like, yeah. And if it were any bigger, nope. You know, and then we got the more standard shelf-size bottle, which again, if it were a fifth, it might work for a 6-inch figure. You know what I mean? If that were a fifth of whiskey or something. Okay. But, like, strawberry syrup. You know, it's basically as big as his chest. Really cool. And I think she kept a couple of these because, again, it's like the Costco bottle. You know, but they frequently will label as like restaurant size. Which is not functional for other scale. Spam. There's like 3 different types. There's like less sodium, Spam light, but again, you can obscure his head with it. But she kept a couple of these too because, like, family size Costco, that's just what we call it. It's the Costco size. Mayonnaise. I mean, you can legit fill a fridge or a pantry for a dollhouse kind of thing with this stuff pretty well. But some of them, the scale is crazy. This is some of the toy store stuff. This is one of the, I kind of made it like a boys toy lot, doing them in like groups of 10 for basically $10. I paid roughly 50 cents each for these or less, and I'm going to try and get $1 for them each. That's kind of the gist of my listing, so I double up on what I'm selling. But these I could actually use with a 6-inch scale. Is this one of the Nerf ones? Or yeah, it's one of the Zuru Nerf ones. You know, you look at his hand, that would actually be about right. I've actually, the funny thing is, doing what I did retail-wise, I've put these on the shelf, the full-size ones, many times. At the tree, we had an end cap that was almost nothing but these guys. Because Zuru, they do make the actual Nerf guns. Like 6 different types, and I think they've got like 3 different types in the mini brands run. But like, again, that hand fits on there pretty smoothly. I kept a few of these for my toy store or whatever it is I'm going to do. But like the remote control, robotic snake, some neat stuff. Obviously it's not an actual remote control robotic snake. It's a replication, a micro replication. Little remote control doggy. The artwork, I mean, it's well thought out, well put together. So if you're making like a little toy store from a doll standpoint, you can do that. But yeah, this is my boys' lot. I think one of them. I've got a couple. Okay. Frisbee in a package. They did some like Nickelodeon figures. I know they did some SpongeBob, which I hate SpongeBob so badly I can't help it. I heard his laugh the first time the cartoon really came out, and I wanted to reach into the screen and strangle the character. I'm very sound triggered. I can't handle them. But like they did SpongeBob figures, I have a Patrick in here too. And I did keep a couple for my toy store because, some of my figures might like SpongeBob. I just can't stand him. Some of my guys may not be big fans of Looney Tunes. I'll pray for them, but it's true. Thank you. But yeah, I'm keeping, and I got Hunk over here as well in case I need a little bit more diverse 6-inch figure to work with. Like a second opinion kind of thing. Because the Toy Biz Resident Evil figures are about a 6-inch scale, but they're quirky with their design. And I got a couple of my Imperial pilots and whatnot over here in case I need a 4-inch, but I've also got my prototype 3PO. Love the look on this guy. Ralph McQuarrie. Definitely a Metropolis influence. This is based on the prototype drawings for C-3PO that Ralph McQuarrie did. Look at that facial shape and whatnot, though. Serious Metropolis influence, and I love it. So he's going to continue to hang out over here and help me in case I need something to measure on a 4-inch scale. Because we were doing that every time we got a bunch of these in. If we got new items in it, we're like, okay, so let's look at this realistically. What does this work for? Is there one of us that this should go to? Could it work for? Is it just barely passable from a big side for my 6-inch and just barely passable on the small side for your 11-inch? Is it something we need to, split up between us? Or is it a lost cause? You know what I mean? Is it perfectly not workable for either one of us and therefore just needs to be resold immediately? So I've got, I think, about 12 or 15 lots over there of Subaru that I just need to photograph. 10 toys in lot, $9.95. Probably $6 shipping on these. They're light and they won't take up a lot of room, but the shipping prices have gone up a little bit. Yeah, that's only like 5 ounces, maybe 6 ounces. There's not much going on there. But I'm going to want to put it inside a got to figure out how to ship it to where, because I can bubble wrap it to hell and back. But that's real crushable. So I may need to do like a cardboard tube or something, or an interior box within the bubble mailer to keep it from getting, because if Babar steps on that thing, it's totaled. And that's avoidable, but that starts with me. If I don't set in motion precautions and it doesn't get there safely, that's my fault. And I don't like it when things are my fault. Not when I have the power to change it. So I'm going to be doing some eBay. I'm going to be baking some fruit. I'm going to make some of that pie filling that I made that one time that Pix inhaled. I've never seen her go at something. So, she wasn't impolite or anything like that, but spoonful, oh my god, another spoonful, it was a loving spoonful. But I got a whole bunch of apples over there and a couple pears and some more dates. So I'm going to make some more pie filling. That's what I'm going to just call it because it's easier. Her chicken is already cut and prepped and is basically gelling literally in a solution of extra virgin olive oil and Italian seasoning. Just kind of, the olive oil is kind of part marinating and part sealing it. It'll actually like hold it for a little bit freshness wise, but I need to fry that up and portion it into some snack bags so that she has a chicken to add for meals. eBay, dishes out, dishes in. I don't think I'll be able to run the dishwasher, but I can at least get the stuff out of the sink and on the stove, and it'll only be about half full. I need to hard boil some more eggs for my kid, because I think there's 2 in the container, which means I need to do an eBay order to make sure that I'm resupplied. And then I got some paperwork stuff I gotta do for Dad. I'll do that over the weekend. That way I can just send them out Monday morning. Whereas I know I'm not in trouble with the lawyers or anybody, but I can send all that stuff out Monday morning and kind of begin the administrative thing fresh. Because I got one person that does want some information from me regarding their account, my parents' accounts, and then I got to get stuff squared away with the Social Security and the VA for my dad. Now that we have the new account set up, I got to kind of transfer everything over. Try and make that as smooth and painless as possible. I'm not sure how that's going to work because I am his guardian, which is still weird to say out loud. But it's real easy for the person on the other side of the phone to think that I'm just someone trying to take advantage of an old man's monthly expenses. So I don't know if I'm going to need to send them to the court for verification or send them copies of letters. This is my first time being my dad's dad, so, this is all strange and unusual. Luckily, I myself am also strange and unusual. Please stop. You're killing me, Smalls. So, yeah. Not bored. I'm willing to bet. So it is 112 and 118 that I'm doing. And she's doing 1-6. Okie dokie. Oh, yeah, one thing that I did do. Alright, so the other cabinet, it's got the 2-shelf interior, just like the one over here that has the purple light going on. I decided that with the Zuru stuff that we're getting in, especially like the books and all that, I'm going to make that like, I was thinking about this, I'm going to make it like a, I'm trying to think of the word. We used it in live action Vampire. And I can't think of it because there are times that I'm beginning to think that I really am having cognitive decline myself. And I hate even thinking about that. But there are names and words from my past that I can't remember, and I don't know if it's just normal or if I'm starting to lose it. Full disclosure. And I know I've had COVID 4 times, and I have been able to check off quite a few things of the call it extended COVID, the fog brain. Come on. Help me out here. It's true. Elysium. Thank you, Google. A common, smaller social gathering held in a safe zone. The idea was most of your vampire games were held what they would call in Elysium, which is you're technically not supposed to hurt each other while you're here. That always, all you had to do was say Elysium and everybody's on their best behavior, of course. I played live action vampire for probably like 4 years. This would have been like in the early 90s. So I haven't really used the word on a regular basis in over 30 years. So, see, and I look at that and go, well, yeah, a lot of people would have a hard time remembering an unusual word that they used 30 years ago, a few times a week. But I'm normally a lot quicker than that. There are moments that I'm like, did COVID cause me to drop some IQ points here or what? I don't know. I feel like I'm not as sharp as I once was. I'm still one of the sharper marbles in the bag, but I feel like I've lost a half step. I don't know. It is early morning too, but I was thinking about doing something like that in that cabinet and actually setting up to where I have characters from all different genres just hanging out in the library, and or probably set up like a lounge or something on the other level. And then I was thinking about it, I'm like, well, what I'm considering here is almost having like Caritas, which, if you're a Joss Whedon like Angel fan, Lorne, who Andy Hallett, love him. I'm still sad about what happened there. He passed, and way too young. Beautiful singing voice, and just his character was just one of my favorite characters from the Buffyverse. I would say one of my 3 favorite characters from the Buffyverse. Willow, Giles, Lorne. Yep. So I'm going to make that basically Caritas 2, like library and lounge. And I think I have a Lorne figure, MIB, in the attic at George, but I went ahead and looked online on eBay, and I found somebody that had a Lorne in it's an obnoxiously loud gold suit. Loose, no accessories, but that's fine. I've got accessories for $20. Everybody else wants 40 and 60 and 100 for MIB figures, and I don't need an MIB figure because he's coming out of the box if I do that. So I went ahead and grabbed that one because he's going to be my host in that cabinet. And I'm already starting to set up library stuff, and I've got stuff and things coming in, and it'll be fun. I'm working on my dollhouse because I need the creative outlet, or my head will explode. And I have a really functional mop, but who wants to mop up their own brains? I mean, it's slow, it's awkward, and there's kind of it's just a downer, I feel like maybe I can put that bit back in. Did it fit here? Well, that part I just gotta put it in the bin, I can't do anything with that. It's just it makes for a tough morning, The dog starts licking some of it up. What can you do? He's a dog. He's gonna. Yep. So yeah, that's my day. But I know I have probably some stuff coming in. Elysium. God, that was. I've been trying to think of that word for a few days now. As I got the idea for Territos 2 over there, I was like, what did we call it in Vampire? It's not Sanctuary. Everybody gathers for court. Acknowledge Prince. Blah, blah, blah. What is it called? What's the freaking word? Elysium. But I haven't used the word on a regular basis for 31 years, probably. Yeah. Something like that. Oh, and um, if you're actually into that and you're like, I wonder, I was actually the Toreador Primogen for years, but I also had a second character who was a gangrel that I would occasionally play, depending on my mood or needs of the storytellers, which I was actually a storyteller for a while too, in the local chapter. And we had, on paper, 150 players, but we had a pretty big group in Tampa. There were 50 to 80 players every week. We had a big chapter. So storytelling was entertaining, never dull, and we put together some good stuff, actually. We had a good writing room. It's a young man named, I don't know where he is now, I hope he's well. I want to say, and I'm going to use their real names, I want to say their names were Bernie and Holly. They were a couple. They were adorable and really good writers to work with. The three of us used to come out with some good stuff that honestly a lot of the other writers were like, wow, that's really good. That's pretty cool. That's a neat idea. We were just pounding out some really good stuff. Kept it flowing, entertaining, and always something happening. And it's usually quite loud. Oh, yes. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it there. And if you have a song, some kind of madness in your head, that's my fault. You're welcome. Such a good song, though. Let it run. Let it run. Anyway. Yeah. Make it a great day.